Michael Costa is just 2 weeks into the US election. The polls have said Democrat Joe Biden, the former vice president, way more popular than President Donald Trump, the Republican. But this election, like all elections in America, is won or lost state by state. Does Donald Trump still have a hope?
Oh, I think he's got a big hope. I wouldn't be surprised that he wins the election. Got to remember, the popular vote is what's being reflected in the polls. And, you know, what Donald Trump has, and I do think he's a flawed character, by the way, is enthusiasm. And, you know, you've just got to look at these rallies that he's conducting and the amount of people and compare them to who turns up for Biden. And, you know, the Democrats are going to rue the day that they picked Joe Biden as a candidate. I think if they had a different candidate, somebody that looked like he was on top of the issues rather than heading for a retirement home, they may well be in a better position. So I wouldn't be writing off Donald Trump at all. I mean, you know, it's enthusiasm and it's getting out the vote, and I think he's showing he can do that.
Michael Kroger, early polling in Michigan, the polls are not for a couple of weeks, which Donald Trump won only narrowly last time, supposedly lose this time, actually show Republicans are just ahead of Democrats in lodging early votes, 41 to 39%. What does this tell you? And bear in mind, of course, that in other states like Florida, it's not quite the case at all.
That doesn't tell me a lot, to be honest. Look, Andrew, there's only one issue now in the American election as far as viewers are concerned. How big is the shy Trump voter effect? How big is the conservative vote of people who are not telling pollsters what they're doing? In Brexit, it was about 4%. The polls were 50-50. It came out 52-48. It was about 4%. In Australia, the election in May last year, the shy Morrison conservative vote effect was 5 to 7%. Polls having him at 48-49. He got 51.5. So it was huge in Australia, 5 to 7. If the Morrison result is repeated in America, Donald Trump will be re-elected. And the most fascinating poll of all in recent days was the one where people were asked, who are you voting for? And they, oh, I'm voting for Biden. Who are your neighbours voting for? Oh, they're voting for Trump, which is like the voter saying, I'm actually voting for Trump myself. So that's the issue. We can dissect Michigan and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Florida and Iowa and Ohio and Arizona all we like. The bottom line is, how big is the vote of those people who are lying to the pollsters because they see no value in telling a pollster what they're really doing? That's why I think Michael Costa is right. Trump does have a hope.
Well, if you're both right and the shy voter syndrome is that pronounced, then surely the left must now look at the fact that so many people are now scared, I mean, almost literally frightened of their lives in some cases, of saying they support a conservative. They should look at the campaign of intimidation and hatred and threats and all that, and if they've got any conscience, back off. Michael Kroger, Michael Costa, thank you both so much for your time.
Thanks, Andrew.